It was a routine Tuesday morning for Sarah Jenkins, a marketing consultant from Chicago. She was heading to a conference in Denver, a trip she'd made dozens of times. Her trusty rolling carry-on, a companion on countless flights, was packed with her usual 3 days of essentials. She breezed through security, grabbed a coffee, and arrived at gate B12 with time to spare. But as the boarding call for Group 4 echoed through the terminal, her routine trip took a sharp, expensive detour. A gate agent, armed with a tablet and a stern expression, stopped her just before she scanned her boarding pass. The agent pointed to her suitcase, a standard-issue carry-on that had fit in every overhead bin for the past 5 years. The agent explained that, under the airline's new 2025 dynamic sizing policy, the bag was now considered oversized for this particularly full flight. The reason? The wheels and handle, previously excluded from measurements, were now included, pushing it just over the limit. Sarah was told her only option was to gate-check the bag for a non-negotiable fee of $85. Stunned and flustered, with a line of impatient passengers forming behind her, she had no choice but to hand over her credit card. Sarah's experience is not an isolated incident. Across the country and around the world, travelers are finding themselves in similar situations. The rules they thought they knew have quietly shifted beneath their feet. What was once a simple process of packing a small suitcase has become a calculated game of inches and ounces. Airlines, facing their own economic pressures, have become more stringent, more technologically advanced, and more creative in how they define and charge for luggage. The most significant shift in 2025 airline carry-on policies is the move towards what the industry calls total volume measurement. For years, travelers have relied on the simple two-dimensional measurements of height and width. However, airlines have now adopted a more comprehensive approach. They are including every protrusion in their calculations. This means the wheels, the expandable pockets, the side handles, and even the pull handle are now part of the official dimensions. A bag that was 22 inches tall might now be considered 23.5 inches when its wheels and top handle are factored in, pushing it over the limit for many domestic carriers. This change is subtle but has major financial implications for millions of passengers. Another critical change is the introduction of dynamic sizing on high-demand routes. This is the policy that caught Sarah Jenkins at the gate. On flights that are expected to be completely full, some airlines are now slightly reducing the maximum allowable carry-on dimensions for those in later boarding groups. The logic is that with limited overhead bin space, only the most compact bags will be accommodated in the cabin. Passengers in priority or early boarding groups may still be allowed the standard size, but those in the final groups might be forced to gate-check bags that would have been acceptable on a less crowded flight. Furthermore, weight limits for carry-on bags are being more strictly enforced than ever before. While many international airlines have long had weight restrictions for cabin baggage, U.S. domestic carriers are now following suit with greater vigilance. One of the most insidious new charges is the gate handling fee. This is different from the standard gate check fee. This fee applies even if you are forced to check a bag that you had every intention of carrying on. This can turn a simple mistake into a charge exceeding $100 for a single bag. Another fee that often goes unnoticed is what some airlines are calling a bin space reservation fee. This is an optional charge, but it is presented in a way that pressures travelers into paying. When booking a ticket, particularly a basic economy fare, you might see an option to guarantee overhead bin space for your carry-on for an extra $15 to $25. Airlines are no longer relying on the old, clunky metal baggage sizers that passengers could often game. The new standard in 2025 is the use of mobile laser measurement technology. Gate agents and check-in staff are now equipped with tablets or handheld devices that use LiDAR to get a precise, instantaneous measurement of your luggage. To navigate this new era of carry-on restrictions, the most effective strategy is to invest in the right kind of luggage. Look for bags specifically marketed as 2025, compliant or underseater carry-ons. These are designed with the new total volume measurement in mind, featuring recessed wheels and integrated handles that minimize their overall footprint. The art of packing has never been more important. Compression packing cubes are an essential tool for the modern traveler. These fabric cubes not only help you organize your clothing, but also allow you to squeeze the air out, significantly reducing the volume of your items. In 2025, the definition of a personal item has become much more rigid, and is a key area where travelers get into trouble. The golden rule is that a personal item must fit entirely underneath the seat in front of you. This is not a suggestion. It's a hard requirement. Let's look at how 3 major carriers are implementing these new policies. United Airlines, for example, has been a front-runner in enforcing strict rules for its basic economy passengers. If you purchase this no-frills fare, you are explicitly only allowed one personal item that fits under the seat. Delta Airlines has taken a slightly different, more technology-focused approach. While their size and weight limits are similar to other legacy carriers, they have invested heavily in the new LiDAR scanning technology. Delta agents at busy hubs like Atlanta and Salt Lake City are frequently seen using tablets to zap bags that look borderline. On the other end of the spectrum are the ultra-low-cost carriers like Spirit Airlines. Spirit has built its entire business model on ancillary fees, and baggage is their biggest revenue source. For Spirit, there is no ambiguity. Almost nothing is free. Anything larger, including a standard carry-on, incurs a fee that can be as high as $99 at the gate. Your strategy for avoiding fees should begin with your online check-in 24 hours before your flight. This is your last best chance to add a bag at a relatively lower price. During the online check-in process, the airline will ask you about your baggage. If you have even the slightest doubt that your carry-on might be flagged, this is the moment to be honest with yourself and prepay to check it. Once you arrive at the airport, your demeanor and awareness can make a difference. Gate agents are human, and they are often dealing with hundreds of stressed passengers. Be polite, prepared, and confident. Have your boarding pass and ID ready. Don't draw attention to yourself or your luggage. Before your next flight, run through this simple checklist to ensure you are prepared for the 2025 carry-on rules and can avoid any unexpected hassles or fees. Check the airline's website for current policy, pack smart and light, measure and weigh your bag, manage your booking proactively, and be prepared at the airport. By following these simple, practical tips, you can navigate the new world of airline travel with confidence. The rules may have changed, but with a bit of knowledge and preparation you can still travel efficiently and affordably, keeping your money for your destination, not for unexpected airline fees.